cars are out on track, getting to grips with the circuit ahead of qualifying. All except Jimmy Lindo, who is currently in the pits. Jareth Hallam, like Lindo, has yet to set a lap time. They are both looking to get some clear track to get a feel for the car.
Remember, in practice the track evolves rapidly as more rubber goes down, so finding that clear space can make a huge difference to your early times.
Ryan Lim is the third driver yet to set a time. All eyes are on those at the top of the timesheets for now.
It is still very early in the session, but these guys will want to get a representative time on the board soon to give the team something to work with.
Jimmy Lindo is finally out on track, and is absolutely flying down the Sam Posey straight.
Looks like they were waiting for the optimal moment to send him out there. Let's see if it pays off with a good lap.
Ryan Lim puts in a stunning lap, a 59.700, to take second spot.
That downhill section can be tricky, but he nailed it. Great commitment there.
Jimmy Lindo still on his first flying lap, through the left-hander now.
This first lap is crucial for understanding the car's balance and grip levels. Important data for the team.
Ryan Lim is pushing hard on this lap, through the downhill section again. Can he improve? Lindo pushing hard on his first-time lap through the no-name straight.
He's really trying to find the limit on his first run. You can see the car moving around beneath him.
Ryan Lim down to third now, as others start to improve their times, but he's out there again trying to reclaim that second spot. Phil Bodkin still without a time. He's navigating the West Bend now.
That's a crucial section for momentum. Get it wrong and you bleed time all the way down the next straight.
Jimmy Lindo sets a blistering lap, a 56.334, to go straight to the top of the timing sheets.
That's more like it. They really nailed the setup changes waiting for the right moment. Big Bend is a tricky corner, but it looks like the car is dialed in.
Phil Bodkin still on his first time lap of the session, negotiating the tricky West Bend.
It is so important for these drivers to learn the limits of the track and car while the conditions allow it.
Ryan Lim improving again, now a 59.415, but still in third. He's pushing hard through Big Bend. Oh no, Jimmy Lindo is into the barriers. A slow speed impact, but still a worrying moment for the team. Incredible, just moments after that crash Lindo is back out on track and flying down the back straight. Ryan Lim, still looking to improve, pushing hard down the no-name straight.
He needs to find some time in the flowing sections, that's where Lindo is really excelling.
Lindo is really on a roll, quickest through the left-hander again. Can anyone match his pace? Still no time for Phil Bodkin, but he's out there circulating, trying to find some pace through the West Bend.
He needs to get a lap in soon. Time is running out in this practice session to gather data for the race ahead.
Jimmy Lindo continues to hold the top spot, looking very comfortable out there.
He is building up a good rhythm. This will be playing on the minds of the other drivers. They will need to find something special to match his pace.
Phil Bodkin finally puts in a lap and goes straight into third place with a 57.620, impressive. Lindo absolutely flying through the right-hander. He's really hooked up here.
He's carrying so much speed through there, that's where he's making the difference. It's all about confidence in the car.
Ryan Lim improves to a 58.900, but remains in fourth, chasing those leaders down the back straight. Lindo still pushing, even though he's quickest. Down the no-name straight now. Another improvement for Ryan Lim, a 58.772, but he's still fourth. Phil Bodkin trying to close the gap to the front runners. Uphill section now.
The car looks a little loose there. He's having to work hard to keep it on the track.
Huge crash for Jimmy Lindo. Into the barriers at high speed. We'll need to see a replay of that. Lindo back out on track, incredibly, and straight back into the Big Bend. Bodkin pushing hard now, through Big Bend, trying to close the gap to the front. Ryan Lim still in fourth, through the left-hander now. Still searching for that extra tenth. Bodkin continues to circulate in third, pushing hard through Big Bend once more.
He's really getting a feel for the car now, lap after lap, consistently hitting his marks.
Lindo, still fastest, looking smooth through Big Bend. Bodkin improves, a 57.581, but stays in third. Through the left-hander now. Lindo, still leading the way, carving through the left-hander. Oh, and Greg Sabo has a shunt. Into the barriers, a decent impact speed there. Sabo is back out on track, after that earlier incident, and heading through the downhill section for the first time. Lindo, still fastest, powering up the uphill section. Sabo still on his outlap, trying to get some heat into those tires after the repairs. Phil Bodkin continues his consistent run, still in third place, negotiating Big Ben.
He is really getting the most out of the car, but he needs to find a couple more tenths if he wants to challenge for the top spot.
Lindo, still setting the pace, through Big Bend again. Oh no, Bodkin is in the wall. A slower impact, but that will still cause damage.
He just lost the rear end there, looks like he got on the power a little too early. These cars can be unforgiving.
Incredibly, Bodkin is straight back out on track, running through the downhill section. Lindo continues his dominant performance, down the no-name straight.
He's clearly found the sweet spot with the car's setup. He's looking so confident and composed.
Chris Stokes finally emerges from the pits, navigating the left-hander on his first lap. Another crash, this time it's Ryan Lim. He's gone into the barriers. Lim is straight back out there and straight into Big Ben. Chris Stokes picking up speed down the Sam Posey straight now.
He will want to put in a good lap, because the clock is ticking in this practice session.
Lindo continues to lead, pushing hard down the Sam Posey straight. Hallam now up to second, a 57.090 through Big Ben. Can he challenge Lindo? Oh dear, Sabo is in the barriers again. Another setback for him. Sabo is pushing on, currently fourth and tackling the uphill section.
It's remarkable how quickly these teams can repair the cars and get them back out on track. Testament to their skill.
Ryan Lim trying to claw back some time on the back straight. Hallam holding second, but needs to find more pace if he is to challenge Lindo. Lindo still leads the way, taking Big Ben the leads.
You can see he is managing the tires nicely through the corner, keeping the car balanced.
Bodkin, currently 4th, tackling the uphill section. Sabo, now 4th, accelerating down the back straight, trying to make up for lost time. Stokes still yet to set a representative lap time, speeding down the Sam Posey straight.
He needs to get a banker lap in now so that he has something to build on for the rest of the session.
Oh no, Ryan Lim has had another incident, into the barriers once more. Hallam improves again, now a 56.924, still second through the left-hander. Ryan Lim back out on track, currently 5th, trying to improve on the back straight.
He will need to find some confidence and push hard, but without making any more mistakes. It is a tricky balance.
Sabo, now 5th, fighting to get up the uphill section. Disaster for Lindo, a big impact with the barriers. That looked like a nasty one.
He was really pushing hard, maybe a bit too hard. That's a costly mistake. The team will have a lot of work to do now.
Lindo back out and pushing again down the no-name straight.
It shows commitment to be back out on track so soon after a crash, but also a lack of respect to the car. I hope it can withstand his driving.
Chris Stokes goes fastest, a 56.160. What a lap.
That's an incredible time. It shows that waiting to go out on track was a great idea.
Bodkin improves again, a 56.705, and moves up to 4th. Another huge crash. It's Sabo again. This is getting ridiculous.
That's a very big impact. I would not be surprised if the car is undrivable. He may need a new approach if he wants to continue.
David Constable Barry is out on track now on his first lap. He is going through the no-name straight. Stokes showing why he is fastest currently as he flies down the no-name straight.
He is so fast. What a performance.
Lindo chasing hard behind Stokes as he runs down the Sam Posey straight. Lim currently down in 6th on the Sam Posey straight.
After all of those crashes, he will be lucky to get any data out of this session, but at least he is still trying.
Bodkin now flying through Big Bend. Can he close the gap? Another crash, this time it's Bodkin. This session is becoming a demolition derby.
Oh, this track is unforgiving. It looks like he braked too late. That corner is very difficult.
Lindo is pushing hard down the Sam Posey straight.
He has got a really good feeling for the track now and knows what to do to go even faster. I think he will get a good lap time soon.
Constable Barry is up to 6th position as he flies down the back straight.
There is always room for improvement, and if he keeps pushing, he might be able to climb the rankings even higher.
Lindo is attacking Big Bend, pushing for that top spot. Constable Barry improves and is still sitting in 6th. Lindo needs to attack that left-hander to get ahead.
He knows he can do it. He just needs to be brave and find the perfect line.
Oh no, Stokes has bended. This session is chaotic.
He will need to recover quickly from that mistake and get back on the track so that he can keep collecting that data.
Stokes pushing hard to retain top spot down the back straight.
He is a talented driver, and even with the crash, I think he will be able to hold onto that position.
Boontak is out on his first lap now, through the no-name straight.
It's a bit late in the session to be doing your first lap. Hopefully he can lay down a good lap soon.
Stokes is still in front and he will be pushing through the right-hander to defend that leg.
The important thing here is for him to feel confident. I think he can do it.
Lim again. Another crash for Ryan Lim. What a disastrous session for him. Lim back out again somehow and pushing up the uphill section. Stokes still leading, but the pressure is on.
He needs to stay calm, focus on his driving, and bring it home.
Lindo snatches the lead, a 55.917 through Big Bend. Oh no, not again. Sabo has crashed again. I've lost count of how many times he's been in the wall. Neil Constable Barry finally out on track, going through the Big Bend section.
That is very late in the session. He will need to put a time in quickly so that he can get used to the track and car.
Lim continues to push, despite all the crashes, down the Sam Posey straight.
It is important to continue to learn the track conditions, especially in preparation for the race.
Oh no, Boontakas has had a big shunt. His first lap ends in the barriers.
He was pushing too hard in order to get a lap time. Hopefully the car can be fixed and he can get back out soon.
Neil Constable Barry is now on the downhill section of the track. Can he put a time on the board?
It will be a difficult task because he is so late to the track and it is a hard place to get a fast lap time on.
Stokes again. He's gone in the wall again. That's not what you want when trying to get used to the car. Stokes back out and trying to regain the lead down the back straight.
He will need to forget about the crash and keep his eyes on the prize. I think he can do it.
David Constable Barry now sits in third and is on the uphill section of the track.
Climbing the rankings quickly, he is really getting used to the car now.
Neil Constable Barry is now up into 6th place.
What a great lap time for a driver who had only just come out onto the track.
Oh no, Koshich is in the barriers, a decent impact speed there. That will cause some damage. Elliot Norton is on track now and heading through Big Bend. Sabo has crashed again. I can't believe it.
That is so dangerous and such a big impact. I hope he is okay.
Sabo is still pushing after all of those crashes, down the San Posey Straight. Hallam pushing through left-hander to try and reclaim a top 3 spot.
He is a great driver and knows how to get the best out of this car. I think he can find a way to get a podium place.
Lindo is still leading the pack as he speeds through the right-hander section. Crash, and this time it's Lim and Lindo colliding. What a disaster. Lim is back on track, but way down in 8th and trying to pick up speed through No Name Straight.
After all of those collisions, it is incredible that the car can still drive. What an effort from the team to get him back out there.
Sabo pushing around Big Bend, but he is still down in 7th after all of those crashes.
He has an amazing ability to shake off those crashes and continue to drive. He is a real talent.
Kochish is out on track after that earlier crash and going through right-hander. Stokes again. He is struggling to keep it out of the barriers. Stokes is back on track and going through the downhill section now. Botkin, now 5th, powering down the No Name Straight. Lim is now down in 10th position, taking the left-hander section.
Such a bad session for Lim. He needs to calm down so that he can get through the race.
Sabo in 8th now and going through the right-hander.
That man is fearless. To keep pushing after all of those crashes is truly amazing.
And unbelievably, Sabo has crashed again. It looks like a very slow speed crash. Sabo back out again. You have to admire his persistence.
I don't know how much longer the car can take. Hopefully he can get a clean run now and collect some important data.
Lim still in 10th and running through the left-hander. Lim is in the wall again. It's unbelievable.
He has to change his approach. So many crashes are going to do nothing for his confidence.
Lim again back on track and powering up the uphill section. McFarquhar finally makes an appearance and is going down the back straight.
It is a big shame for the team that he is only just getting out there. It won't give them any chance to get a feel for the car.
Botkin is pushing hard to improve and sits 5th as he is on the back straight.
He needs to trust the car and not hold back, but I think he can do it and improve in time for the race.
Disaster again. Stokes and Lim collide. What a crazy session. Stokes still trying to chase down the leader, going down the No Name Straight. Norton is on the right-hander and still has not put a lap time on the board.
With such little time left in the session, he will need to make every second count.
Constable Barry currently sits in third. Can he climb any higher? Lim still at the back of the pack as he races down the no-name straight. Lindo into the barriers. He was pushing so hard. Has he pushed too hard? Lindo back on track and back down the back straight. What a recovery. Bodkin is currently 8th and pushing hard down the no-name straight. Bodkin has crashed. What a session this is turning out to be.
He was too brave on that corner and pushed too hard. Hopefully he can get out there again before the end of the session.
McFarquhar now taking the Big Bend section, still on their first lap.
They need to put a time on the board soon or this will be a waste of a practice session for them.
Hallam, currently 7th, is going through Big Bend.
Hallam needs to find something special from somewhere if he wants to get onto the podium places. He has to focus and give it everything.
I don't believe it. Sabo has crashed again. This is unreal. Buntakis in 5th now. What a session this is turning out to be.
What a turnaround for Buntakis.
Kochish is in 11th with limited time to improve. Neil Constable Barry currently holds 6th position as we approach the final 10 minutes.
He's had a very solid session, especially given how late he came out onto the track.
Oh no, David Constable Barry is the latest to find the barriers. That was a decent shunt. Norden goes 2nd. He is really laying down some lap times, going through Big Bend. Tim Weller is currently 9th. The team must be proud of that after their hard work.
He has a lot to learn in that car, so to be sad in 9th is a really good achievement.
Norden is flying. Can he steal that top spot down the back straight?
The data suggests he is going to be faster than Lindo and Stokes. It is going to be touch and go.
Lim down in 14th, trying to find something on the back straight after a truly terrible session.
He has a lot to learn and it shows out on the track. Hopefully he can do better in the race than he has in practice.
Weller, now 5th, really flying down the no-name straight.
His confidence is growing lap after lap. Really impressive stuff from him.
David Constable Barry taking Big Bend with ease but remains in 6th position. Massive crash for Lindo. That is a huge impact. What a disaster for him after dominating earlier.
That looked nasty. He really lost control there. I hope he can get back on track, but the damage will be extensive.
Lindo is back on track after that huge crash, flying down the Sam Posey Straight. Incredible. Neil Constable Barry currently 8th, but he is trying his hardest as he goes down Sam Posey Straight.
He needs to be brave and show he has what it takes to push up the rankings to get a good spot for the race.
Lindo still setting the pace, through Big Bend with confidence. Botkin currently 10th and has a good racing line through the left-hander.
He should just get back to basics, keep the racing line tight and keep the speed consistent. It should help to get a good time.
David Constable Barry has binned it again, this time a much smaller crash.
He is struggling to stay out of the barriers, maybe he needs to take a lap to calm down.
David Constable Barry tries to improve on his time going down the back straight, sitting in 6th.
He is having a terrible time staying on the track, but hopefully he can calm down so that he is ready for the race.
Rich Snape in 13th, taking the right-hander section now. Sabo is down in 12th, but still pushing on after all of those crashes. David Constable Barry again, he just can't keep it on the track. Clark currently 11th position going through West Bend.
The West Bend can be a difficult corner and he is navigating it very well, keeping the car flat for the turn.
Sabo pushing down the no-name straight as the session comes to a close.
It is incredible that he is still out there and still pushing despite all of those collisions.
Hallam currently 4th, looking for improvement as he heads down the Sam Posey Straight. Botkin again, into the barriers once more. This is a disaster. Sabo is still 13th. I am amazed he is still going after all of the incidents he has had.
I wouldn't be surprised if the car has to be ridden off. But he is showing a real determination to keep driving.
Weller, now up to 3rd, is taking West Bend. What a turnaround.
He is getting better and better lap after lap. This is such a great achievement for him.
Sabo again, another crash for Greg Sabo.
I think that is it for him now. I don't think the car can take another collision.
Sabo is back out again. This is unbelievable.
The car must be hanging together by a thread, but he is still determined to finish the practice session.
Fobard finally out there on his first flying lap through Big Bend. Rich Snape currently 6th going down the Sam Posey Straight. Hallam is in the barriers. It's been a disastrous session for many drivers. Hallam is back on track incredibly and pushing down the back straight. David Constable Barry currently 7th, trying to improve his time on Big Bend.
It has been a really bad practice session for him and the team, but hopefully he can pull something out of the bag now to gain some confidence.
And again, David Constable Barry in the barriers. I don't know how much more this car can take.
He has lost his confidence now and is pushing too hard, resulting in yet another collision.
Weller, now 4th, through Big Bend. He has come a long way during this session.
He needs to focus and block out what everyone else is doing, so that he can get the best out of the car. I think he will do well.
Stokes is in the barriers again. What a terrible session for him.
He has completely lost his rhythm now. He should retire the car so that the mechanics can get it ready for qualifying.
Stokes still trying to regain the top spot as he makes his way down the back straight. Snape currently 9th position, pushing down the no-name straight. Botkin in 12th position as he goes through the left-hander. What a difficult practice session this has been for him. Lim has crashed again. What a disaster this has been. I've never seen anything like it.
I can't believe it. It is going to take the team all night to repair that car. He is going to have to improve drastically in qualifying if he wants to have any chance in the race.
Ridge Snape currently 9th position, making his way down the Sam Posey straight. Neil Constable Barry trying to move up the leaderboard, going flat out down the no-name straight, currently 10th.
With such limited time, he will need to block out everything else and just focus on getting the best time he can out of the car. I think he can improve to get a better starting position for the race.
Kochish currently 14th, taking the left-hander corner. David Constable Barry again. He has crashed again. Lim bringing up the rear and heading down the no-name straight as time runs out. Boontakis has crashed with very little time remaining in the session. Boontakis in 5th and trying to improve going down the back straight.
He needs to make every second count as the session comes to a close and focus on getting a good lap time on this lap.
Fovarg in 15th going through West Bend. There is very little time left for him to make an impression.
It is such a difficult challenge to start a practice session so late. It just does not give you enough time to properly get used to the car and the track.
Lindo still in front with limited time remaining, through the left-hander now. Norden is in the barriers as the session comes to a close. Norden, 3rd position, now flies down the back straight in the dying seconds of the session. Lim brings up the rear, taking the back straight for what will probably be his last lap. What a torrid session he has had. Fovarg has crashed as the session ends. What a dramatic end to a dramatic session.
What a shame. He has barely had any time on the track and now he has crashed. It will be a difficult challenge to get ready for the race after such a bad practice session.
Fovarg back on track after that previous shunt, and running down the back straight. Stokes, now 4th, is racing down the Sam Posey straight.
He will need to have a better session in qualifying because the race is not going to go very well with all of the mistakes he has made.
Stokes, currently 4th, is pushing down the Sam Posey straight as time runs out in practice.
If he wants to do well in qualifying, he will need to push really hard on this last lap of practice. He needs to go back to basics to keep the car out of the barriers.
welcome everyone to Line Rock Park for qualifying. The wind is gusting slightly, which could make things tricky on the downhill. Right then, green light, the session is underway. Cars are already pouring out of the pit lane, eager to get a banker lap in early.
Coach Ish is still in the garage, that's unusual. Maybe they're making some last-minute adjustments to the setup before he heads out.
Constable Barry still yet to set a time, looks to be tiptoeing through the right-hander now on his outlap.
Coach Ish finally exits the pit lane, 3 minutes 54 left on the clock. That doesn't leave him much time for multiple runs.
Coach Ish puts in a time, but it's right down in 15. He'll need to find some pace if he wants to make it into the top 10.
Wow, a big jump from Coach Ish. P1 with a 57.4. That's a seriously quick lap.
He really hooked it up. Can anyone respond? McFarquhar now starting his flying lap, through the Sam Posey straight. Will this be enough to challenge the top time?
McFarquhar goes fourth, a good lap but not quite enough. He'll need to find a bit more time in the final sector.
Ryan Lim is on a flyer, through West Bend now. Let's see what he can do.
He looks very smooth through there, carrying a lot of speed. This could be good.
A disappointing first attempt for Lim, down in P15. He'll need to find a lot more speed on his next lap.
John Clark is going for it now, hammering down the Sam Posey straight. This could be a pole position lap.
Clark goes second, a great lap, but still a couple of tenths off Coach Ish's time.
Coach Ish is lighting up the timing screens now, approaching sector 1, and he's carrying great speed through the downhill.
He's half a second up on his best. Looks like he's going for pole again. Coach Ish improves, but only slightly. Still down in 8th, he needs to find more time.
Bodkin on a hot lap now, a massive improvement in sector 1. Let's see if he can carry it through.
He's flying, over a second up. This could be a real shock.
Bodkin jumps up the order, but only to P12. A good lap, but perhaps he should have pushed harder in sector 2.
Norton still hasn't set a time with just over a minute to go. What's he been waiting for?
Constable Barry is pushing hard now. Looks like he's trying to string together a lap to get inside the top 5.
Constable Barry goes P2. Just a tenth off the top spot, but that's a great lap. Norton finally leaves the pits, incredibly late, just 54 seconds remaining.
Can he even get a lap in? It's going to be tight. Incredible. Norton snatches pole position with seconds to spare. Where did that come from?
Neil Constable Barry trying to improve, but the clock is against him. He's got to make every corner count.
Hallam pushing hard now, trying to move into the top 5 before the flag falls.
Hallam goes second. He's pushed Constable Barry down to 3rd. What a lap.
Coach Ish is flying, desperately trying to salvage something here. Looks like he's on for a big improvement.
He's got to get this lap in before the flag. It's going to be close.
Coach Ish finds some pace. 3rd, a great effort right at the end.
Farquhar is on a flyer as the clock hits 0. Will this be enough?
It all depends on Sector 3 now.
Farquhar only manages 11. He ran out of steam in the final sector.
That will be painful for him, he was so close to a better position.
Botkin giving it one last shot, but he's running out of time.
Botkin improves but stays 14th. Not the session he was hoping for, I'm sure.
Ryan Lim giving it one last push. Can he get out of the bottom of the grid?
Oh, big shunt for Constable Barry. He's gone into the barriers.
Looks like he just lost it on the exit of the corner. Hopefully he is okay.
Ryan Lim is on a faster lap now. He's trying to get a slightly better starting position for the race.
Will he get it though?
Lim improves, but it's only enough for 15th. He'll have a lot of work to do in the race.
Lim is still pushing, despite being at the back. He clearly wants to try and improve his time and position. Welcome everyone to Lime Rock Park. It's a beautiful day for a race on the full circuit, with just a slight breeze.
That wind could affect the braking points into the downhill. A very technical circuit, needs commitment.
Elliot Norton, the Pro-Am driver from the UK, starts on pole in his Mini Cooper JCW Challenge.
He'll have to have a good start to hold off the faster pro drivers behind him. A great achievement to take pole for a Pro-Am.
Alongside Norton is Jareth Hallam in another Mini Cooper. Little known about his experience in this class. Can he challenge Norton?
Daniel Kosic, the AM driver from Hungary, starting third. A great starting position.
He'll need a clean start to stay with the front runners and challenge for the AM class win. And in fourth, another AM driver, Greg Sabo from Italy. It's a very competitive AM class grid.
He'll be looking to challenge his countryman Hallam if he can get a good start. Lots of potential there. Chris Stokes, another Pro-Am driver from England, rounding out the top 5. The Pro-Am drivers will have to be consistent to perform well today.
Another Pro-Am driver right behind. That's David Constable Barry starting in P6. He is one to watch today.
Tim Weller starting 7th, a UK driver in the AM class. He will want to make up some places early on.
Right behind him, another Brit, Rich Snape. Starting in 8th, he's got a lot of work to do to get onto that AM podium.
John Clark starting down in 9th, a pro driver in the mix but a little way back. He'll want to start carving his way through the field.
Rounding out the top 10 we have John Boontakis from Greece, another AM class contender.
He'll be hoping to get a good start and stay out of trouble in the early laps. Staying clean is key at Lime Rock.
Mac McFarquhar starting just outside the top 10 in 11th place, yet another Pro-Am competitor hoping to prove their worth.
The midfield looks very competitive today with a lot of drivers in this class. Tire management will be key for a good finish, something I learned the hard way.
Jimmy Lindo starts 12th in another AM class car. Can he close the gap to the cars in front?
The AM battle is going to be fierce today. The top few AM drivers are going to be fighting for every tenth of a second. Neil Constable Barry down in 13th. Has his work cut out for him to get into the points today, never mind challenge the leaders.
Phil Bodkin will start the race in 14th position. More competition.
Hopefully we will see him involved in some battles further into the race. A good start is essential for him.
And finally, Ryan Lim, starting in 15th. The last of the runners. He'll be aiming to make up some ground early on.
Out, and they're away. A clean start for everyone.
Norden gets a good launch and holds the lead, but Hallam is right behind him. Košić is slow off the line. Norden holds the lead through the first lap, maintaining his advantage from pole position.
He's driving defensively, I can see that. He knows there are some quick drivers behind him who can take the lead.
Norden continues to lead after one lap, still at the front.
Norden still leads after lap 1, managing the race well so far.
He'll need to keep the pressure on and build a gap if he wants to hold on to that lead. The cars behind are coming for him. Boutakis has lost a position on the first lap, dropping from 10 to 11.
He's likely got caught up in the pack, needs to get his elbows out and fight back if he wants to get back into the top 10.
Boutakis loses a place, dropping down to P11 on the opening lap. Not the start he was hoping for.
Oh no, we've got a collision. Sabo and Stokes have come together.
Replays show they tangled at turn 3, a slow-speed incident, but that could cause damage to the cars. Hallam remains in second place after that first lap.
He is right on the tail of the leader. That Mini is looking stable. He will be looking to make a move soon.
Hallam is closing the gap to Norden at the front. Just 0.3 of a second separate them now.
And we've got another incident. Weller and Clark have collided.
Farquhar is closing in on Snape in the Big Bend, just 0.2 separating them as they battle for 8th place. He's putting in a decent lap, 105.904, but will need to improve if he wants to catch him with just 10 minutes remaining.
McFarquhar has overtaken Snape, and Snape is glued to his rear bumper, literally nothing between them. The pressure is on.
Boutakis is under pressure. Lindo is right on his tail, bumper to bumper and ready to pounce. He'll need to defend well through the next sequence of corners. He's looking for any opportunity.
Lindo has overtaken Boutakis. He got a great run coming out of West Bend. That battle is heating up.
That was a pretty messy start, a couple of incidents already in the first lap.
Yeah, Lime Rock can be unforgiving. Everyone's fighting for every inch, especially in these shorter races.
And with so many drivers in the same class, there's very little separating them in terms of pace.
Exactly. It's all about minimizing mistakes and making the most of every opportunity. I've seen races won and lost in the pits just from a slightly slow stop.
The next few laps should get interesting when the faster drivers from the back of the grid find their way through the pack.
Yes, just shows how important qualifying is. Starting at the front helps you control your own destiny. Neil Constable Barry is chasing down Boutakis for 10th place, only a tenth of a second separating them. He'll need to find some pace if he wants to make the pass. His last lap was a 107.722.
No change in position there, but Constable Barry has dropped back slightly, now 0.2 behind Boutakis.
He needs to be careful, can't afford to lose touch now. It is a long race, but you never know what can happen. Phil Bodkin looking quick now, setting his personal best lap time of 57.080 seconds and closing in on Neil Constable Barry, only a tenth of a second separating them as they battle for 11th.
Bodkin still right behind Constable Barry but loses a tenth. Will he be able to get past? That last lap was frantic. So much action in the midfield.
Absolutely. It's classic Lime Rock Park. Close racing, lots of overtaking opportunities if you're brave enough.
And the Mini Coopers really suit this track. They seem to be able to carry so much speed through the corners.
Yeah, the short wheelbase and nimble handling really come into their own here. You need to be precise and confident to get the most out of them.
Have to keep an eye on the tires though. The fast direction changes will be hard on them and the drivers need to manage them effectively.
Definitely. We've seen a few drivers pushing too hard early on. It's a long race. Patience is key to maintain your tires.
It also looked like the drivers who had accidents earlier have lost a lot of pace. The damage to the cars might be affecting their performance.
Yes, any kind of damage at this circuit can compromise the car's balance and stability. It affects your confidence, which is essential at such a demanding place.
And it is not just damage from the crashes they need to be aware of. There's a big risk of picking up debris from the crashes and getting a puncture.
That's the gamble you take. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes not. You have to concentrate on the driving and react accordingly.
Talking about luck, it is a dangerous sport, but that's why we love it. Always a twist or two to keep you on your toes.
Exactly. You can never predict what's going to happen in motor racing. That's what makes it so exciting to watch and to drive. It will be interesting to see how the strategy of the front runners will play out in the next few laps.
Botkin goes faster again, a new personal best, closing in on Constable Barry, but still 2/10 of a second behind. Can he find a way past?
Oh dear, more contact. Lindo and Boontopples have come together again.
They tangled earlier in the race. Have they had another coming together?
Boontock is dropping back after that incident. Botkin is gaining ground and only 3/10 of a second separate them. His last lap was a personal best for him. Will Boontock let him pass to not risk further contact?
McFarquhar is being chased hard by Weller through the downhill. Only a 10th between them. He will be struggling to defend with Weller right behind him.
Weller is half a second back on McFarquhar after they had a close battle earlier on. He needs to push hard to close the gap in the closing minutes. A great chance to close the gap at the Big Bend.
Weller is reeling in McFarquhar, closing the gap by a 10th of a second. Every little bit counts with so few laps remaining. McFarquhar has closed in on David Constable Barry. Another great lap for McFarquhar puts them right behind each other. Is he going to try a move?
That's going to be a tricky one. They're both pretty evenly matched. It all depends on who's got the better run out of the final corner, and who is willing to commit to the move first. Oh no, big crash for Kosic. He's gone into the barriers.
McFarquhar remains stuck behind Constable Barry. He's looking for a way through, but Constable Barry is defending well.
He needs to be careful. He doesn't want to make any mistakes so close to the end, or he could lose a place to the cars behind.
McFarquhar closing the gap. He's right on the tail of Constable Barry, a chance to overtake.
This race has been chaotic. We've had crashes, close calls, and constant battles throughout the field.
Absolutely. It just shows how competitive this series is. Every driver is pushing to the absolute limit.
That Kosic crash looked nasty. Hopefully they are okay.
Fingers crossed, they were going at some speed when they went off. The barrier should have absorbed most of the impact though.
Lime Rock is very unforgiving, even the slightest error in the remaining wall.
Especially with the little time remaining in the race. It is now or never for a lot of these drivers to get a decent result.
It is a real test of car control. One slight mistake can cost you the race.
This track is narrow too. It is very difficult to overtake, so drivers often take risks to gain a position.
We're seeing some really exciting racing between evenly matched drivers. They are not willing to give up an inch, which always adds to the entertainment for us at home.
It's been a treat to watch, especially with how little time is left in the race. We should be in for a thrilling finale.
It's not over until the checkered flag drops. There are still plenty of opportunities for drivers to improve their positions and change their strategy.
Absolutely. This race has taught me to never count my chickens until they hatch. There are still plenty of laps left to be raced.
Boontock is dropping back again after his earlier incident with Lindo. He is now 4/10 down and may be resigned to not finishing in the points. His latest lap isn't up to scratch.
Contact between McFarquhar and Constable Barry. What a disaster for both drivers.
They were battling hard, and it looks like one of them made a mistake. Not sure who is at fault there. Weller's ride on McFarquhar now. They're side by side, but there's contact. That was McFarquhar and Constable Barry that crashed.
The leaders were fighting and now Weller has benefited from that. He has a chance to get past now. McFarquhar tries to recover from that accident, but is 2/10 off Constable Barry. Can he get the position back so close to the end?
McFarquhar retakes the position, but Constable Barry is glued to his bumper. There will be sparks flying from the two of them.
Stokes now hunting down Kosic for the final podium spot. He's 2/10 behind. He's driven exceptionally well and the crash hasn't seemed to have slowed him down.
Stokes has lost a 10th on Kosic and time is running out. He has only a few laps to try to get past him.
This has been one of the most incident-packed races we've seen all season.
Absolutely. The drivers are really pushing the limits, and that's leading to mistakes and collisions.
It's testament to the skill of those drivers. They are so evenly matched.
And a high level of car control is a must, especially at this circuit.
Lime Rock definitely separates the men from the boys. The people who have the skill will come out on top.
It is what keeps us all coming back for more, and I'm sure everyone watching at home is feeling the same. Weller gaining again, now only 3/10 behind McFarquhar as they head up the uphill. He really seems to have found some extra pace towards the end of the race.
Weller lost a tenth of a second there. The final lap is fast approaching. Can Weller pass and get a better result?
The final lap is always a nail-biter, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Anything can happen on the last lap. A mistake, a mechanical issue, a sudden burst of speed.
And the pressure the drivers will be feeling. All the work they've done in this race comes down to those last few corners.
That feeling of having all eyes on you is incredible. You need to have incredible focus to make the right decisions on the last lap.
It's amazing to watch how the leaders are always calm and composed. They know what they are doing and are able to block out the noise.
Those memories never leave you. I bet those drivers will be thinking about this for days to come. They need to stay calm and remember what they've learned.
Weller sets a new personal best lap, closing to within 0.3 of a second of McFarquhar. Time for one last attempt to get past.
Weller right on the bumper of McFarquhar. Here we go. This is going to be a drag race to the finish.
Weller gets past, but McFarquhar is right behind him. This is going to be close.
Oh no, Weller and McFarquhar have come together right before the finish line.
That's heartbreaking. They were fighting hard, and that little contact has cost them both dearly. McFarquhar falls down the order after that incident with Weller, and is now behind Constable Barry. Can he gain it back before the line, and grab 7th?
McFarquhar still trying to close the gap on Constable Barry. No luck so far. The final lap is approaching. The leaders have already crossed the line.
What a dramatic finish. I can't believe what we just witnessed.
Neither can I. That final lap was just crazy. Those last few corners completely changed the outcome of the race.
Yeah, you could see the drivers were completely spent, and every single place was essential to fight for.
The number of risks that they are willing to take for a place is really incredible. Some will succeed, some will fail.
Those moments make for some of the greatest moments in motorsport. I know that from when I was racing, it is intense.
This race really had it all. The final result is definitely something that we can all discuss.
Stokes pushing hard on the final lap, but Košič is holding him off. 0.3 of a second separate them. Can Stokes make a move for P2? Is there enough time?
Another crash. It's McFarquhar and Constable Barry again. Unbelievable.
What is going on with those two? They've been battling all race, and now they've come together once more. The final lap is just claiming victims, now. Constable Barry down in P8 now after the last collision. 0.2 between himself and Mac McFarquhar, who gained 7th there because of the last accident. Can Constable Barry beat him again?
Lindo breathing down the neck of Botkin for 10th place. Only a 10th separating them. After crashing earlier, this would be quite the recovery. It is going to be close.
No change. Lindo continues to put pressure on Botkin, but he is not going to let him pass easily. 1/10 the gap.
What a finish we're having. This is motor racing at its finest.
The drivers gave it absolutely everything they had. Every single place was hard fought and hard earned.
Even with all the crashes, it has to be said that a lot of the driving has been excellent. Drivers are showing their worth out there.
All this drama does make it more exciting for everyone watching. The fans have been given a lot to shout for today.
The crashes do have consequences though. The cost to repair those cars will be high, even though some may still be drivable.
That's part of racing though. If you aren't willing to risk everything to achieve success, you will never win. Oh, more carnage. Botkin and Lindo have collided. What a race.
Weller has recovered to 6th after that earlier incident, closing quickly on Sabo for 5th and only 0.2 away. Can he make up those places?
Weller closing. Only a 1/10 of a second now separates him and Sabo, as Weller puts the pressure on to gain another place.
Neil Constable Barry in 8th, but David Constable Barry, his closest rival, just behind him. At 0.3 of a second, can he get past? The battle for 8th place is going to be interesting.
No change there as the camera remains locked onto those two. The older Constable Barry remains 0.3 of a second behind, keeping the pressure on as the racing continues.
These guys are so close. I really think it's going to be a nail-biter, and it's very hard to say whether he will be able to push through on the last lap of the race, or will he be able to maintain the pressure needed.
Elliot Norton is leading the race in the final few moments. What a drive.
20 seconds to go. Norton just needs to keep it clean and he will bring the car home. A comfortable lead of 9 seconds to the nearest rival.
Elliot Norton wins the race. Dominant performance from start to finish.
From pole position to the win. He drove a brilliant race and stayed out of all the carnage behind him. What a performance. They have crashed so close to the finish line. Weller and Sabo are side by side as they have spun out of control.
Incredible scenes. You can see they gave it everything they have. Sadly, only one could come out on top in this battle. Daniel Košič crosses the line in second place. A great recovery after the crash. He He makes it into the podium.
Starting from third and finishing second, you cannot complain about that. Absolutely brilliant and a well-deserved podium. That crash was a scare, but he pushed on regardless. Chris Stokes finishes in third place. A brilliant recovery from a slow start, an absolutely fantastic performance. He started in fifth.
Excellent work to claw back 2 places. A well-deserved podium for a driver who kept it clean and consistent throughout a chaotic race. He'll be celebrating tonight, I'm sure. Hallam, Weller, McFarquhar, and Constable Barry follow, rounding out the top 7. What a race for them all in incredibly difficult conditions.
And finally, Constable Barry, Sabo, Lindo and Botkin have finished. Some close battles, some crashes, but an incredible effort by everyone who competed in the race today.
And there they go. That's your race finished. What an incredible race, from the start to the finish. Congratulations to the drivers on today's performance.
And here we are at Lime Rock Park. The wind is up slightly, but the stage is set for a fantastic race. Pole sitter Rich Snape, in the Mini Cooper, lines up on the grid.
It's going to be interesting to see how that Mini holds up over the full race distance against the more powerful machinery. Remember, he is an AM driver, so managing his tires will be key.
John Boontakis, another Mini Cooper, starting third, and like Snape, he's classified as an AM driver. And alongside Boontakis is Phil Bodkin, making it a mini sandwich early on.
3 minis in the top 4. That's unexpected. They'll be hoping to get a good start and hold position because it's going to be tough to keep those faster cars behind them later on.
Another mini. Jimmy Lindo starts in 5th, continuing the trend.
That's a lot of mini representation at the front. They must have found something special in the setup. But the race is long, and strategy will play a big part.
It's a sea of minis, Greg Sabo completing the top 6 all in the same machinery.
Finally, some variation. David Constable Barry starts in 7th, also in a mini but running as a Pro-Am entry. The pressure is on him to represent the more experienced drivers in that car.
Neil Constable Barry makes it a Constable Barry sandwich, starting 8th.
2 Constable Barrys in a mini but in different classes. That adds an interesting dynamic to the race. I wonder if they will work together.
Rounding out the top 9, Mac McFarquhar, another Pro-Am driver in the mini. Tim Weller completes the top 10, making it a full house of minis.
Unbelievable. 10 minis at the front. This isn't what we expected. It will be interesting to see how long they can hold formation before the faster cars behind can make their move.
Jareth Hallam starts just outside the top 10, also in a mini.
This is starting to feel like a one-make race. How will the different classes affect the strategy of the race?
Chris Stokes starts in 12th, yet another mini on the grid. Daniel Kosic, carrying the Hungarian flag, rounds out the mini train in 13th.
13 minis at the start. Incredible. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. The slipstream effect could be huge for these drivers early on.
Elliot Norton, making it 14 minis in a row, lines up in 14th place.
Finally, a pro driver in a mini starting back in 15th. He will need a good start.
Hang on, there seems to be an error in the running order. Ryan Lim is showing as starting in both 1st and 15th position.
That's unusual, Hal. There must be a problem with the timing system. Let's see if it gets resolved before the green flag. The team at Race Control will be working on that as we speak.
Lights are out. We are go at Lime Rock.
What a start for Ryan Lim. He's rocketed from 19th all the way to the lead on the first lap. Phenomenal.
Lim has made an incredible charge to the front, taking the lead on lap 1.
I've never seen anything like it. From the back to the front in one lap. His car must be dialed in perfectly.
And we have contact. Mac Farquhar and Phil Bodkin have tangled.
A very slow speed collision, but even a small tap can unsettle a car, especially early in the race. Let's see if they can both continue without significant damage.
Tim Weller has lost a couple of places, dropping from 9th to 11th.
It's always tough on the first lap. Everyone is fighting for position, and sometimes you come out the loser in those battles.
Weller continues to struggle, still down in 11th.
He needs to settle into a rhythm and try to pick off those positions one by one. Overdriving now will only hurt him in the long run.
Weller is under pressure and needs to find some pace.
Oh, no, more contact. This time it's Jimmy Lindo and John Bluetooth.
Jareth Hallam, up one position, now running 9th.
Small gains like that can be crucial. Every place counts in a long race.
Hallam has lost the position again and is down to 10th. And look at McFarquhar. After that earlier incident, he's now up to 7th and closing on the cars ahead.
McFarquhar is showing great pace to recover from that early contact. He's right on Hallam's tail, just 2 tenths separating them. This will be a good battle to watch. Hallam continues to drop back, now down to 11th. McFarquhar is gaining ground, up to 8th and just 3 tenths behind. Hallam must be struggling with something.
We're now watching Chris Stokes, running 12th, right behind Phil Bodkin. Just a 10th between them.
Stokes has set a 1 minute 7 seconds and 7 milliseconds on that last lap, his first of the race. With 10 minutes plus 1 lap to go, he'll be looking to get past Bodkin quickly and start chasing down the cars ahead.
Big crash. Bodkin and Constable Barry are involved.
Now we're with Boontuckus running 5th and chasing down Ryan Lim. Just 2 tenths separating them as they head into the right-hander.
No change for Boontuckus, still 5th and glued to the back of Lim.
He needs to find a way past soon, or the leaders will start to pull away. But remember, this is Lime Rock. Overtaking can be tricky. Another incident. This time it's Elliot Norden and Chris Stokes in the thick of it.
Now we're watching Chris Stokes, up to 6th, with Ryan Lim right on his bumper. 0 gap.
What a move from Stokes. He's gained 2 positions and is now up to 4th. Lim, on the other hand, has dropped all the way back to 9th. A significant change there.
Stokes has lost a position, dropping back to 5th, but he still has a comfortable gap to Lim behind, now at 1.2 seconds.
He'll need to keep an eye on his mirrors, though. A second is nothing around Lime Rock. Oh dear, another incident for Stokes. This time he's tangled with John Clark.
Now we're with Jareth Hallam, running 7th, and closing in on Chris Stokes. Just 2 tenths between them.
Hallam hasn't been able to close the gap to Stokes. It's now stretched out to 6 tenths. He'll need to find some extra pace if he wants to challenge for that 6th position.
Well, Sky, this race has been anything but predictable so far.
That's right. The number of incidents we've seen in these opening laps is remarkable. Shows the pressure these drivers are under.
And so many minis in the mix. Who would have thought they'd be so competitive at Lime Rock?
It just shows how important a good setup is for this track. It requires a very particular driving style to get the most out of it, and some of these drivers have clearly nailed it.
That charge from the back by Ryan Lim, though, what a drive.
Absolutely. You can see the determination and raw talent, and the willingness to risk everything for a position.
We're now with John Clark, right on the tail of Elliot Norden in the Big Bend section. Just a 10th separating them.
Clark remains in 5th, but Norden has managed to increase the gap to 8 tenths of a second and, crucially, has taken 3rd position. He's putting in a great drive.
Back to Jareth Hallam, still chasing Stokes. The gap is a tiny 2 tenths of a second.
The gap is closing again. Hallam is right on the tail of Stokes, just a tenth separating them. He's biding his time, looking for the perfect opportunity to make a move.
Hallam makes the move. He's past Stokes and up into 6th position. But Stokes is right there, just a 10th behind.
Oh, no. Hallam and Stokes tangle again. What a disaster for both of them.
Now we're watching Tim Weller, running 8th, closing in on Hallam, who is just 3 tenths ahead.
Weller has moved up to 7th and now Hallam is right behind him, with no gap between them, side by side.
Oh, we have a crash. Sabo and Lim are involved.
Now we're back with Hallam, running 8th and chasing Weller. Just 2 tenths between them. This is going to be a battle.
Hallam retakes 7th, and Weller is right on his bumper, 0 gap. They are bumper to bumper.
This race is action-packed. So many changes and incidents on track. How?
Absolutely, it's been non-stop. Lime Rock is proving to be a real test of skill and patience.
You have to be precise, and any slight mistake gets punished. That's why we're seeing so many collisions.
And the battles are so close. It's clear everyone is pushing to the absolute limit.
These short races really encourage that maximum attack mentality. You have to go for it from the start.
I think we'll see a few more incidents before the end. These drivers are clearly pushing the envelope.
Now we're with John Clark, hunting down Boontakis for fourth. Just a tenth of a second between them as we head towards the final few minutes.
Clark takes fourth, but Boontakis is glued to his rear bumper. This battle is far from over.
Disaster strikes. Contact between Clark and Boontakis. That's a costly mistake for both of them.
Now we focus on Jimmy Lindo, who is right behind Rich Snape for the lead. Just 1/10 of a second separates them down the no-name straight.
Lindo takes the lead. He's managed to pull out a small gap of 6/10, but Snape won't give up easily. This is the battle for the win.
Daniel Kocic is chasing down John Boontakis. Just 2/10 separate them as they fight for 5th place.
Kocic hasn't been able to close the gap to Boontakis, who has now stretched it out to 4/10 of a second. He's going to need to find some extra pace if he wants to challenge for that 5th position.
Sky, this race has really delivered on the drama.
It has, how? We've seen everything from incredible overtakes to some really unfortunate collisions. The racing is so intense.
And the track is proving to be a real challenge. It's not just about raw speed, it's about precision and making the right decisions at the right time.
Absolutely. Lime rock demands respect, and if you push too hard, it will punish you. I learned that the hard way during my career.
It's also amazing to see how the strategies are playing out. Some drivers have been consistently quick, while others have struggled with tire wear or fuel management.
Those management factors are crucial in these shorter races. It's about finding the right balance and knowing when to push and when to conserve. That's what separates the good drivers from the great ones.
I couldn't agree more. It's all come together to make for a really thrilling spectacle.
Definitely. This is why we love motor racing. You just never know what's going to happen next.
Let's hope the final few minutes are just as exciting.
I'm sure they will be. With the drivers pushing so hard, anything is possible.
And we're seeing more and more drivers starting to get involved in incidents. Perhaps the pressure is too much for some of them.
Absolutely. In my racing career, when I felt the pressure was on them, it could cause mistakes in my driving.
Now we're back with Tim Weller, chasing Hallam for 7th. Just 2/10 separating them with 5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining.
Weller hasn't been able to close up to Hallam. The gap is now 3/10. Time is running out if he wants to make a move for that 7th position.
Now we're with Kocic again, still chasing Boontakis down the Sam Posey straight. The gap is just 2/10 as they fight for 5th.
Still no change in the Kocic and Boontakis battle. They're nose to tail with only 2/10 separating them. The tension is rising.
Disaster. Kocic and Boontakis come together. That could be costly for both of them as they fight for position.
We are now with Hallam in 9th place and closing on Stokes, who is 8th. They are only 3/10 apart as we head into the final few minutes.
Hallam is closing the gap to Stokes. It's now just 2/10 between them.
Not again. Stokes and Hallam collide. What a race these two are having, constant fighting and contact.
We are back with Jared Hallam and Chris Stokes, who are continuing to fight for 8th. Only 1/10 of a second separates them.
The gap has increased to 2/10 in favor of Stokes. The battle between these two just never stops.
We're reaching the climax now. Sky, the tension is palpable.
It is, how? Every corner is critical. Every decision can make or break a driver's race. The pressure is immense.
I think we've seen almost every driver on the grid involved in some sort of incident today.
It's a testament to how hard they're pushing in the fine line between success and disaster. I remember one race back in my day.
We still have a couple of minutes left to run. Let's see if any of the drivers can pull off a late overtake.
Absolutely, as long as there's time on the clock, then drivers will be pushing. It just takes one mistake from the driver ahead.
The Hallam and Stokes battle has been fascinating, but for all the wrong reasons.
Indeed, it shows that even when you are racing for the lead, there are battles to be fought and sometimes tempers fray.
Are we expecting any further crashes in Sky?
Based on what we have seen so far, then it's hard to imagine there won't be more crashes. There are so many drivers driving on the edge.
We're almost at the end of the race though. The leaders can taste victory.
They can, it's just a matter of maintaining composure now, and staying out of any possible trouble. We now switch to Constable Barry, who is hunting down Sabo for 10th. They are almost touching as they battle along the Sam Posey straight. Only 1/10 of a second separates them.
Constable Barry has overtaken Sabo for 10th position, but Sabo is right on his bumper, with no gap at all between the cars.
Sabo has taken back 10th place, and he has managed to pull out a small gap of 2/10 to Constable Barry. Can he maintain that position?
Oh no, it's happened again. Constable Barry and Sabo have come together. What a disaster for both drivers.
We are now with Rich Snape, who is trying to catch Norton for second. They are flying around Limrock and are only 2/10 apart.
Oh, disaster for Norton and Snape, they have come together.
Now we have Mac McFarquhar, who is trying to catch Constable Barry for 9th. Constable Barry has a slight advantage as they approach the final lap, with 2/10 separating them.
The gap is closing, McFarquhar is right on the tail of Constable Barry, just 1/10 separating them as they approach the final lap.
We are on the final lap here at Limrock, and what a race it has been.
Absolutely, Sky, the amount of drama, the twists and turns, it's been breathtaking.
I have raced here many times, and you really need to be at one with the car in order to achieve the best lap times, and we have seen some sensational performances.
We have also seen some sensational crashes, haven't we? Do you think the drivers have been too eager?
It's a fine line. You have to be aggressive to gain positions, but you must be careful not to push too hard. This is where my experience comes into play, as I have seen it all before.
Who are you expecting to win, Sky, based on your extensive racing knowledge?
It's too close to call. You just can't predict who is going to be victorious in these races. It could come down to who is the bravest into the final corner.
Well, let's hope there are no further incidents. It would be a shame to see anyone crash out on the final lap.
Of course, the key thing is that everyone is safe. We're racing drivers, not gladiators, but this is racing and accidents can happen.
We have seen so many changes. Has anyone leave from start to finish?
No, certainly not. That would be unheard of in this race. There are no concessional laps, and all the drivers are pushing to the limit.
It would be very easy for the leaders to make a mistake, especially with so much pressure on them.
It would, but I am sure they will be taking extra care. I know that I always did when I had the chance to win. You can't be complacent.
As we approach the final lap, we are now with Greg Sabo trying to catch Neil Constable Barry for 11th position, with a very small gap of 1/10 of a second.
Sabo has not been able to close the gap, and it has increased slightly to 3/10 as they approach the final lap of this race.
There's contact. Koshich and Weller have come together.
Now we are with John Clark, trying to get onto the podium, as he chases down Rich Snape for 3rd. Can he do it on this final lap? They are 3/10 apart.
We're with Hallam, trying to take 11th from Sabo. Can he do it on this last lap? He is 4/10 behind.
McFarquhar and Constable Barry have come together. Another incident.
Now we have Chris Stokes battling to get 6th. He is currently 5/10 behind Weller.
Stokes has made up ground, closing the gap to Weller to just 2/10 as they battle for 6th. It's the final lap. Who will take it?
Well, Sky, what a race this has been, incident after incident.
It's been incredible, how the drivers have been pushing so hard, and that's led to some spectacular moments and some unfortunate incidents.
There's been so much contact out there. It's a testament to the intensity of the racing.
Absolutely, Limrock is a challenging circuit, and it demands absolute precision. Any slight mistake, and you're in trouble.
Are we expecting any more incidents during the final lap, Sky?
It's hard to say, but I wouldn't rule it out. The drivers are going to be giving it everything they've got on this last lap, and that could lead to some more fireworks.
I wonder who will win. There have been so many changes.
It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. There's been some amazing driving out there today, and it's going to be a thrilling finish, I'm sure.
And what are your thoughts on the number of minis at the start, Sky?
It just goes to show how competitive the Mini can be. The team have done a fantastic job of setting up the cars, but this has proven that luck is also required.
Well, let's hope everyone finishes safely and there are no further collisions.
Absolutely. Safety is paramount, and hopefully everyone will get through this last lap unscathed.
Do you have any words of wisdom for the drivers on this final lap, Sky?
My advice would be to stay calm, stay focused, and stay out of trouble. This is where championships are won and lost, and you have to keep your head.
Now we're watching Tim Weller, trying to hold on to 6th place as he battles with Chris Stokes. They are approaching the right-hander separated by just 3/10. Lindo leads with 20 seconds to go. He is only 3.5 seconds ahead of Norton. Will he hold on?
It's going to be close, but if he drives a clean lap, then Lindo should take the win. I know that feeling. You just want to be able to reach the checkered flag.
Jimmy Lindo wins the race. What a drive, an incredible performance, taking the checkered flag.
Absolutely sensational. A well-deserved victory for Lindo. Starting from 4th and staying out of trouble was key. A masterclass in race management.
Elliot Norton takes 2nd. What a drive from 13th on the grid.
Stokes and Weller have collided again. What a dramatic end to their race.
And John Clark completes the podium, finishing 3rd after starting 14th.
Another fantastic drive. He showed great pace and made some crucial overtakes. A really impressive performance from Clark to get onto the podium.
And the final runners cross the line. Boontakas takes 4th, followed by Kochish, Weller, and Stokes in 5th, 6th, and 7th respectively. What a race!
The remaining drivers are finishing. Constable Barry takes 8th, Sabo 9th, Hallam 10th and Snape finishes in 11th. An incredible race with so many incidents and crashes.
And to conclude, McFarquhar, Constable Barry and Lim round out the finishers in 12th, 13th, and 14th place. And that's all from Lime Rock Park. What a race! Botkin still yet to register a lap time with just over 8 minutes remaining. Botkin into the barriers. A low-speed impact, but still a heavy hit. Botkin still without a timed lap as we approach the final 8 minutes.
He needs to get a banker lap in soon. You don't want to go into qualifying blind.
Hallam still to set a time, running down the Sam Posey straight now.
He's probably just doing some installation laps, checking all the systems are go.
Sabo is on track, but yet to set a lap time, now on the no-name straight.
He's got to get a move on. Time is running out to dial the car in before qualifying.
Hallam still without a time, negotiating Big Bend with just over 5 minutes remaining in the session. Szabo's time is still blank with under 5 minutes left to run.
He's cutting it fine now. He needs to get a lap in and get some data.
Botkin, currently third with a 57.4, negotiating the left-hander now. Hallam, second fastest with a 56.0, tackling the downhill section.
He's looking quick. That downhill section requires real commitment.
Botkin improved slightly to a 57.3, still third, now through right-hander.
He needs to find a few more tenths if he wants to challenge for the top spot.
Hallam, still second, pushing hard down the Sam Posey straight. Constable Barry still without a time as we enter the final couple of minutes, now on the Sam Posey straight.
He's really up against it now. He needs to get a lap in quick or he'll be starting from the back.
Lindo into the wall, a high-speed impact.
That's going to sting. He carried too much speed into that corner and paid the price.
Lindo is out on track, but has yet to set a time, now on the no-name straight.
He's really running out of time. Can he get a lap together before the flag?
Botkin, currently fifth, pushing through Big Bend in the closing stages. Constable Barry improves to fourth, now powering down the Sam Posey straight. Botkin still in fifth, and pushing hard through Big Bend as the clock ticks down.
He's got to make this lap count. It's his last chance to improve.
Neil Constable Barry still without a time of just 17 seconds to go.
He's going to cross the line just as the flag drops. Will he get a lap in?
Botkin has crashed, a slow-speed impact, but still a shunt into the barriers. Constable Barry in 4th place, navigating Big Bend as the clock runs down to 0. Lim into the barriers, a very slow-speed impact, but an impact nonetheless. Lim still without a time and now heading into Big Bend as time expires.
Unless he gets a move on now, that could prove very costly for qualifying.
Botkin still 5th and pushing through Big Bend as time runs out.
Just a matter of seconds left now. Has he got enough to improve his time?
Stokes yet to set a time, now approaching the left-hander with just over half a minute remaining.
He's really left it late. He's got to get a good lap in now or it could be disastrous.
Stokes, still without a time, now navigating the left-hander section with just over a minute remaining in the session. And welcome back to Lime Rock Park for qualifying. The engines are firing up and the air is buzzing. 12 miles per hour wind could be a factor today.
Time to see who's brave enough to really push it early. This track rewards commitment, but you can't afford to overstep the mark.
Jimmy Lindo taking it easy on his outlap, still no time on the board for him. He's on the Sam Posey straight now, building heat into those tires.
Hallam yet to register a time, but he's on the move through the right-hander. A tricky corner where getting the exit right is key to a good lap time.
Still nothing from Lindo as he blasts down the Sam Posey straight again. What is he waiting for?
Finally, a time from Lindo, but it's way down in 16th. Needs to find some serious pace if he wants to improve.
Oh no, we have a crash. It's Ryan Lim, and he's gone into the barriers.
Looks like he just lost the rear end. A low-speed impact, but still a shock for the driver. Let's hope he's alright.
Lindo's still trying to improve on that earlier time. He's through the big bend now, looks like he is pushing harder.
And Lindo jumps to the top of the timing sheet. That's more like it. A great lap from him.
What a turnaround, from 16th to 1st in one lap. The team will be happy with that.
Stokes still hunting for representative time. Down the Sam Posey straight now. Let's see if he can string together a good lap.
Stokes finally sets a time, and it's right at the bottom. Not where you would want to be. Tim Weller is on a flyer, but still no time set. Let's see what he can do on this lap.
He needs to get a move on. Time is running out in this session. Pressure is on to perform. Weller slots into 6th. A solid lap, but still some time to find if he wants to challenge for the top spots.
Rich Snape is pushing, a 10th up on his best as he goes through the right-hander. Can he hold on?
Stokes still nowhere on the timing sheets. He's on the no-name straight now, getting very late in the session to get a good time.
Lindo looks set to improve, 2/10 up on his best time. Can he extend his lead?
This is where the pressure really ramps up. Can he keep it clean through the final sectors?
And Lindo crosses the line, but no improvement, sticks with his previous best.
McFarquhar yet to show his hand. He's on the Sam Posey straight. Is this going to be his flyer?
McFarquhar goes 4th, a strong lap, straight into the top 5.
Weller looking good, over 4/10 up on his best. He's flying.
Down the Sam Posey straight now. This could be a big improvement. Fovart making progress on his best lap, nearly 4/10 up.
Fovard improves, pushes up to 13th but still has work to do.
A small gain there, but needs more if he wants to climb further up the order. Stokes is on a better lap, a 10th and a half up as he rounds the west bend.
He's got to nail the exit here to make the most of it. Stokes jumps up to 5th. What a lap for him at the end there.
Norton going for it, half a second up, final chance for most of these drivers.
Norton improves, right behind Stokes in 5th. That will be a good starting position for him.
Contact, we have a collision out on track. Botkin and Guntakis.
Looks like a clumsy coming together. Hope they can both get back to the pits for repairs.
Hallam looking quick now, nearly half a second faster on this lap. Big gains to be had.
Weller is pushing, just a 10th up, but every little bit counts at this stage.
He's got to get through the big bend cleanly if he wants to keep the momentum.
Lindo on a hot lap here, over 3/10 up on his best going through West Bend.
Ryan Lim, still with no time after that earlier crash. Last chance saloon for him.
Constable Barry pushing right to the wire, a 10th up in the big bend. The clock is ticking.
Oh, and there's a crash. Tim Weller into the barriers.
A very slow speed impact. Looks like he just ran out of talent there at the end of the session. A shame, he was looking quick.
Constable Barry, last gasp attempt, 1/10 up. Will it be enough?
He's got to get everything right through this final sector. Incredible pressure on him. Coachish trying to find a little more time. A 1/10.5 up as they head onto the no-name straight.
Lindo on another attempt, but he's matching his best exactly. Can he find something extra?
He needs to push hard here. A tiny mistake can cost you everything at this stage of the session.
Lindo across the line. No improvement. Looks like he's settled for second for now.
Time is running out. Can anyone else steal pole position?
Chris Stokes giving it one last go. A tiny gain, but will it be enough to move up the grid? Sorry, I seem to have resent that last event. Can you generate a fresh comment based on it? Chris Stokes giving it one last go. A tiny gain, but will it be enough to move up the grid? Engines are fired up here at Lime Rock Park. The tension is palpable.
The wind's a factor today. 3 miles per hour will affect aero balance, especially in the S's.
Hallam leads the pack in his Mini Cooper, a surprise pole sitter in the not-known class. Lindo in P2, another Mini Cooper, but he's an M-class driver. Experience could be key here.
The AM drivers will be managing risk versus reward. Early laps are crucial to settling in.
McFarquhar in the Mini, he's Pro-Am. He'll be looking to put pressure on those ahead.
The Pro-Am drivers are interesting. They'll try to maintain their speed, but their teammates will hope they make mistakes.
Sabo lines up in P4. He's another M-class driver in the mix at the front.
For Sabo, consistency is key. Avoiding errors will get him a good points haul.
Constable Barry rounds out the top 5 in his Mini, a Pro-Am looking to climb the order. Norton starts 6th, another Pro-Am in this tightly packed field of Minis. Kosic starts in 7th, representing Hungary, and hoping for a good result from his M-class seat.
That's a long way back. Kosic will be looking to capitalize on any issues ahead.
Weller is 8th on the grid, another M-class driver looking to gain ground.
Weller will be trying to avoid an incident on lap 1 and settle into a rhythm.
Stokes starts 9th, a Pro-Am driver needing a clean start to contend. Snape rounds out the top 10, another M-class driver in the Mini Cooper.
Starting 10th, Snape will need to be aggressive in the early laps.
Clark, a Pro-class driver, starts outside the top 10 in 11th.
He will be wanting to get up the order as quickly as possible.
Boontakas starts in P12, hoping to improve his standing from the AM-class seat. Neil Constable Barry starts in 13th position, another AM-class driver on the grid.
This is a long track, so Neil will need to be patient to make his way through the field.
Fovarg starts in 14th. Can the Pro-Am driver make up some places? Phil Bodkin will start in P15 from the AM class.
He'll be wanting to put in a strong performance today, but starting that far back is never easy.
Ryan Lim starts way back in 16th position, a tough ask from there.
Staying out of trouble is key for Lim. A points finish is the target for him.
out and we are go, go, go. Hallam holds the lead into turn 1.
Hallam defending the inside line perfectly.
Hallam's got a clean getaway, now to build a gap. Weller loses a place, dropping to 9.
It's crucial to get a good start. He'll need to push now to recover that position.
Oh, trouble for Weller. He's into the barriers. McFarquhar holds on to 3rd position, staying out of trouble so far.
He's in a good spot to challenge for the lead if the front runners make a mistake.
McFarquhar keeping it clean, sticking right behind those front 2 minis.
The S's are coming up, that's where the gaps can appear and the opportunities for overtaking.
McFarquhar is right on the tail of Lindo, just a 1/10 of a second separating them. Constable Barry is closing on Norton, just 2/10 between them. It's still early days with 10 minutes plus 1 lap remaining, and his lap time is a 1:03.854. Constable Barry loses a bit of ground to Norton, the gap now 4/10 of a second. Lindo is right on Hallam's bumper now in West Bend, just 2/10 separating them.
That 102.542 lap shows he's got the pace to challenge. He needs to find a way past soon.
Hallam is starting to pull away, Lindo is now 6/10 behind. Lindo loses another position, now in 3rd and 8/10 behind the leader. Stokes, running in 8th, is chasing down Kosic, only 2/10 between them.
He'll be looking to make a move soon. The S's are coming up, a good place to close the gap. His lap time is a 1:04.477.
No change for Stokes, still right on the tail of Kosic, the gap remains at 2/10. Contact between Kosic and Stokes. This could be trouble for both of them.
That's a clumsy move and could cost both drivers valuable time.
Snape is hot on the heels of Clark, just a 1/10 of a second separating them.
He is closing the gap. His lap time of 0:56.936 is very impressive.
Clark is edging away from Snape, the gap now half a second.
Snape needs to respond quickly if he wants to stay in touch. His fast lap has not been sustained.
Well, that's been an eventful few laps, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Lime Rock is a deceptively technical track. It looks simple, but it punishes mistakes.
Those Mini Coopers are proving to be handfuls, plenty of jostling for position.
They require a very specific driving style and setup. You can gain a lot of time with the right setup.
And the crash for Weller early on. It just goes to show you, anything can happen on the first lap.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to keep your wits about you, especially when the field is bunched up.
Kosic is right behind Constable Barry, only a 1/10 of a second separates them. He did a fast lap of 0:56.199. Kosic loses ground, dropping to 8th, the gap to Constable Barry now 6/10. What a difference a few turns can make.
The earlier contact with Stokes will slow him. It looks like he is struggling with the car.
Kosic has recovered slightly, and moves up into 7th, but is still 8/10 behind Constable Barry. Kosic is closing on Sabo, just 2/10 of a second separates them now. Still no change, Kosic right on the bumper of Sabo, 2/10 the gap. What a battle shaping up in the middle of the pack. So many close fights.
Absolutely. The nature of this track promotes close racing. There aren't many places to truly stretch your legs.
And the Mini Cooper JCW challenge cars are all evenly matched, which makes for great racing.
That's right. The regulations keep them very similar, so driver skill really comes to the fore.
It's a real test of patience and precision here at Lime Rock.
Exactly. You need to be smooth and consistent to get the most out of these cars on the track. It is so important not to make mistakes.
We've seen plenty of mistakes already today.
Indeed, it's proven to be a challenging race for many.
Still, plenty of time left. Anything can happen.
Absolutely right. We're only halfway through, and there's still a lot of racing to be done.
The different classes will all be looking to do the best they can, and get some points on the board.
That is exactly right, no matter which class you are in. Every point counts in a championship.
Clark is closing in on Weller for 9th place, just 2/10 in it. Big shunt for Lim. He's gone off and hit the barriers hard. Lindo Lindo is right on the tail of McFarlane, just a tenth separating them, battling for second. Stokes is glued to the back of Sabo. They're side by side for 7th place. Zero gap. Another incident. Clark and Stokes come together.
Neither gave an inch. Someone will be paying for this.
Norton is right on the bumper of McFarlane. Only a tenth separates them. It is extremely close for second.
Norton did a great time there of 0:56.006, which means he is close enough to make a move.
McFarlane is managing to fend off Norton. The gap is up to 2 tenths. This race is getting really intense as we reach the final few minutes.
Absolutely. The drivers are pushing harder and harder, which increases the risk of mistakes.
And Lime Rock really punishes any error. There's very little margin for error.
True, and with the field so closely matched, even a small mistake can cost you several positions.
We've seen quite a few incidents so far. The tension is certainly getting to them.
That's racing. The pressure's on, and not everyone can handle it. I've been in similar situations myself.
And the clock is ticking. Those drivers who need to make up ground don't have much time left.
Exactly. This is where they need to take calculated risks to try to move up the order.
This race is likely going to go down to the wire.
It certainly is. It's going to be a thrilling finish.
A thrilling end to a race that has not been short of action.
That is for sure. One of the best races that I have seen in a long time.
A great advert for the series.
I agree. This is how you get a crowd into the sport.
Clark is right behind Sabo, just a tenth separating them in the no-name straight. He's lining up a move. Sabo is managing to hold off Clark. The gap is up to 2 tenths now.
He will have to make sure he defends well. Clark is a good driver.
Only 6 minutes left on the clock, and the drivers are starting to get desperate.
The pressure will be building, and the risks they are willing to take will be increasing.
Do you think they will be thinking about their tires at this point?
Good point. It really depends on the Corsa and how smooth the driver has been. It will be in the back of their minds, but most of all they want to get past the next car.
We've certainly seen some aggressive moves out there today.
That's Lime Rock for you. It encourages that kind of racing. Small track, evenly matched cars, the drivers will make those risks.
Who do you think is looking strong for the win at this point?
Hallam has looked pretty good for sure. He has one little foot wrong and appears to have good pace.
What about the AM drivers? Any of them looking like they will break into the top order?
It is unlikely, but you never know. If some of the drivers ahead make a mistake or crash, then it is certainly possible.
The Pro-Am drivers will want to get to the end. A safe race for them might mean they can get some good points.
Indeed, they will know how important the points are for their class, and that is the main goal, not a podium necessarily.
What about the Pro class? We have not seen much of them so far.
Clark will be disappointed with his race. He may have got a bit carried away with some aggressive driving and been caught up in some collisions.
A race to forget for him then.
Yes, indeed. I am sure he will be ready to try again in the next race though.
Weller in 11th, with Boontakas right behind him, 2 tenths separating them.
He needs to push harder to make it into the top 10. His pace does not appear quick enough right now.
Weller has managed to slightly increase the gap, now 4 tenths between him and Boontakas.
He is improving his driving, but he really needs to be taking more risks if he wants to win.
5 minutes to go, and the gloves are well and truly off.
Absolutely. This is where reputations are made, or broken. I know that from experience.
The drivers will be pushing their cars and their tires to the absolute limit.
Definitely. At this point, they are probably not even thinking about managing their tires. It is just flat out.
We are starting to see some fatigue too, I would suggest, both mental and physical.
Indeed, it will be extremely tough. It is so important to keep your focus as a driver. One slip and the race is over.
Will the weather be a factor here?
The wind is certainly something that they will have to keep an eye on. This can really alter the car balance.
Hallam seems to have a good cushion to the rest of the field.
For sure, but this can soon change. A small slip and they will be right behind him and looking to pounce. He should not relax, that is for sure.
What is the best section of this track for overtaking?
I think the best section is the uphill S's. The cars are starting to move around a lot and it can be very unnerving.
And the drivers need to be fully confident and committed to make those moves.
Yes indeed, if you are not fully confident, you will not make the pass. You need to be prepared and ready for it.
A big shunt there earlier for Lim, a shame for him.
Yes, it is never nice to see a driver crash out of the race. It is so disappointing for him and the team.
I hope that he is okay and can race again soon.
Yes, me too. Let us hope that the mechanics can fix the car, or that he has a replacement to use in the next race.
Boontakas is hunting down Snape for 11, just 2 tenths in it. We are right near the end. Another incident. Constable Barry and Koshich come together.
At this point in the race, there is no mercy. It is every person for themselves.
Koshich is closing on Constable Barry. 3 tenths is the gap. The fight for 5th is on. Boontakis is closing in on Snape. Just 2/10 separates them now with only a lap to go. This is for 11th place.
He'll need to time his move perfectly if he wants to get past. So close to the finish.
Another collision. Sabo and Stokes come together. What a chaotic race. Kosic is trying to close the gap to Constable Barry and right-hander. Only 2/10 between them now. The pressure is on. No change. Kosic still right behind Constable Barry. The gap remains at 2/10.
He needs to make a move soon. One final lap and that's all, folks.
Trouble for Boontakis. He has hit the barriers.
What a shame, right near the end there. That is a real shame.
Norden is closing on Hallam. Just 2/10 separates them now in the final lap. Norden has taken the lead, side by side with Hallam now. Contact between Lindo and Farquhar. Another incident as we reach the final lap. Clark is closing on Stokes for 8th place in the final lap. The gap is just 3/10. Clark makes the move. He's past Stokes and now in 8th. What an incredible finish to a dramatic race.
Absolutely. That was a roller coaster of a race, full of incidents and overtaking.
The final lap was just amazing to watch. Norden stealing the lead at the very end.
He timed that move perfectly. He was patient, he got the opportunity, and he took it.
Hallam will be gutted to lose the lead on the last lap.
Of course, but he drove a great race nonetheless. He should be proud of his performance.
It's been an action-packed race from start to finish. Well done to every driver.
A very impressive race, so many highs and lows, well done indeed.
Let's see what happens at the podium next.
A great end to a wonderful race.
That's all from us.
Goodbye.
What a show.
Indeed, until next time.
Stokes is right on the tail of Sabo for 6th in the final lap, just 1/10 between them. Sabo is managing to just stay ahead of Stokes in the final lap. Well, Sky, what a race we've had.
Indeed, wow. An absolute thriller from start to finish. A real testament to the excitement of motor racing.
So many incidents and overtakes. It was end-to-end action.
The conditions today were a huge factor. And Lime Rock never disappoints.
Lots of frustrated drivers out there. It got quite aggressive at times.
That's understandable with so much at stake. Drivers will take risks when it matters.
And how about the pace of those Mini Cooper JCW Challenge cars? Incredible.
They are wonderful cars, a great example of pure racing machinery. Their sound is also amazing.
Well, thanks for being my commentary partner today.
The pleasure was all mine. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a truly amazing race.
And thank you all for watching.
See you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
The team will be packing up now.
We will start again next time. It will be great.
Yet another crash. Stokes and Clark collide in the final lap.
What a shame for both of them. No points for them.
Boontakis is right behind Stokes for 10th. Only 1/10 separates them. Stokes is managing to hold off Boontakis. The gap is 4/10 now.
A big shame for both of them, as they may both come away with no points for the race due to the number of crashes.
Oh no, Constable Barry and Sabo come together. The carnage continues to the very end. Stokes is pushing hard to catch Snape. Just 2/10 between them now. Norden leads, but Hallam is closing. 8/10 separating them as we head to the finish. Norden wins the race. What an incredible drive from 6th on the grid. Hallam finishes 2nd, a strong showing after starting on pole. McFarquhar completes the podium, finishing 3rd after a consistent drive. Kosic finishes 4th, followed by Constable Barry, Sabo, and Clark rounding out the top 7.
Many of those positions will have changed due to the crashes in the race.
Weller, Snape, Stokes, and Boontakis finish 8th through 11th in a chaotic end to the race. Neil Constable Barry, Bovard, Lindo, and Lim complete the finishers, closing out a dramatic race. And Phil Bodkin comes home in 15th. What a race! And here we are at Lime Rock Park, ready for what promises to be a thrilling race. Lindo starting P3 in the Mini. He'll be eager to get a good start in the AM class.
That Mini Cooper is a handful, but Lindo's got the car control and a great launch could see him challenging into the first corner.
Next to Lindo is Fovarg, another Mini Cooper. The Pro-Am driver will be looking to put on a show here.
Fovarg in P4. Lime Rock is a momentum track. If he can hook up the launch, he'll be right in the mix.
Constable Barry rounds out the top 5, another M-Class driver looking to climb the ranks early.
Boontak is starting in P6. He'll be hoping for a clean start to avoid any trouble and pick up some places.
Stokes starting just behind Boontakus. This Pro-Am driver will look for every opportunity to get ahead.
Stokes has to keep it clean here. A good rhythm is crucial on this track, and overdriving it leads to mistakes.
Snape starting in P7. This Mini Cooper driver will be looking to get a good start and stay out of trouble. Weller in P8. This is anyone's race, and he will be looking to close the gap to the leaders.
Weller has some work to do. It's vital to get a good exit out of the corners here to gain an advantage.
Clark starting in P9, the first of the pro drivers we have on the grid.
Lime Rock is not easy to overtake, so Clark has got to be aggressive on the opening laps.
Sabo starting in 10th position. The AM driver will be hoping for a clean start to make up some places.
The margins are so tight around here, Sabo will need to maximize every corner to keep up.
David Constable Barry in P11. The Pro-Am driver will be looking to carve his way through the pack. Koshich in P12. This AM driver will be hoping to close the gap to the rest of the pack.
Koshich needs to be patient, especially at the start. There are plenty of opportunities to make up ground later in the race.
McFarquhar starting P13. Another Pro-Am looking to challenge.
He's got to get a good run out of the final corner to set himself up for an overtake into turn 1.
Hallam starting down in P14, has a lot of work to do, but anything can happen in this sport.
That's right, and Hallam has the talent to do it. He just needs to execute on track.
Norton rounds out the grid in P15. The Pro-Am driver will be looking to improve his standing here. And there he is, Lim on pole. What a performance in qualifying.
Lim has a lot of pressure on him. All eyes will be on him to see if he can convert that pole position into a victory.
Lights are out and we are racing at Lime Rock.
Here we go. Everyone gets a good start and it's neck and neck into the first corner.
Lim gets a great start and holds onto the lead.
Perfect start from Lim. He held his nerve and defended that inside line well.
Lim still leading as they head into the S's.
He's setting a blistering pace early on, trying to break away from the pack.
Lim maintains his lead, putting in consistent laps. Oh no, contact between Lim and Bodkin. Bodkin has somehow managed to retain position despite that crash.
He was incredibly lucky there. He was able to recover quickly.
Bodkin still holding second place, but under pressure now.
He needs to focus on his driving. He can't be distracted by the crash.
Another crash. This time it's Koshich and Sabo coming together. Chris Stokes has made up 2 places already. Great start for him.
He's being aggressive, pushing those Mini Cooper to its limits. He's looking good.
Stokes is right on the tail of Bodkin now. Only 3/10 separate them.
He's sniffing around for an opportunity. The pressure is on Bodkin to defend.
Stokes makes the move. He's past Bodkin and up into 4th.
Textbook overtake. Stokes positioned the car perfectly and had a great exit speed.
Sabo is closing in on McFarquhar for 10th place. Just 2/10 between them.
Oh dear, Clark and Snape are off. A messy incident that could cost them valuable time.
Constable Barry is under immense pressure from Clark, with just 1/10 of a second between them as they navigate the left-hander. Clark makes the pass on Constable Barry. They are neck and neck as they navigate the corners.
That was a clean overtake. Constable Barry needs to find a way to respond or he's going to lose more ground.
Well, that was an action-packed first lap, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Lime Rock Park always delivers. It's such a challenging track.
Those early crashes will have shaken up the order. A lot of drivers need to stay out of trouble now and get into a rhythm.
The mini JCWs are tricky cars to handle, but when you get it right, they're incredibly rewarding.
It's all about momentum here. Carrying that speed through the corners is crucial.
Exactly. I remember when I raced here, you could really make up time by getting the perfect line through the uphill. McFarquhar is holding on to 9, but David Constable Barry is right behind him, ready to pounce on any mistake.
Still no change. McFarquhar holding off Constable Barry, but this pressure is immense.
McFarquhar needs to keep his focus. Any slight error and Constable Barry will be through.
And another crash. Clark and Constable Barry come together.
What a messy race we are having here today, folks.
Hallam is chasing down Sabo for 13th, just 2/10 separating them. Plenty of time left in the race for Hallam to make a move.
Clark is closing the gap to Constable Barry. This could be interesting.
Contact between Constable Barry and Clark again. This is getting rather heated.
Norton is under pressure from Sabo. Can he hold him off down the back straight?
Norton has extended the gap, 3/10 now between him and Sabo. This race is certainly proving eventful. Sky.
Tell me about it, Hal. Crashes galore. Lime Rock is always unforgiving if you get it wrong.
And the Mini Coopers seem particularly susceptible today.
They are a bit of a knife edge. Push too hard and you'll find yourself in the gravel.
Strategy will play a huge role here, conserving tires and being consistent.
Absolutely. It is definitely not all about outright speed, it's about endurance and racecraft.
Snape right on the gearbox of Clark. This could be the move for 7th position.
Snape had a great exit out of the last corner. That's giving him the momentum he needs to challenge.
Another incident. Sabo and Hallam colliding.
These drivers are really pushing the limits out there. McFarquhar's got Koshich right behind him, 2/10 apart, but he has the advantage with his best lap being the same as the last one.
Mac McFarquhar has managed to increase the gap a little now. The pace is really starting to pick up now.
Absolutely, Hal. With just 8 minutes left, everyone's going for it. No holding back now.
We've seen a lot of contact out there, showing the pressure the drivers are under.
I remember my racing days. In these situations, it's vital to stay calm and make smart decisions.
It's all about managing risk versus reward at this stage, isn't it?
Exactly. A risky move could gain you a place, but it could also end your race. McFarquhar is closing on Snape, 1/10 in it. Can he make a move in the next few corners?
They have made contact again. Constable Barry and Clark.
It's like they're magnetically attracted to each other out there.
Koshich is closing fast on McFarquhar. 2/10 is nothing at this stage of the race. He's flying out there. No change. Koshich is still right behind McFarquhar.
Snape now chasing Koshich. Can he get close enough to make an attempt at a move?
Still the same order. Snape is pushing hard, but Koshich is holding him off. With just 7 minutes plus a lap left, it's all or nothing now.
Absolutely. Every 10th of a second counts. The drivers need to maximize every corner, every braking point.
We've seen so many incidents. It's crucial to stay out of trouble at this point.
It's a balancing act, Hal. You need to push for every position, but you can't afford to make a mistake.
Lime Rock is a very unforgiving circuit. Any small error can have big consequences.
It tests every aspect of a driver's skill set. From car control to race management, you have to be on your game.
Norton right behind Constable Barry. They're practically glued together. Norton has overtaken Constable Barry.
He made the move and it worked. Great driving.
Stokes closing in on Boontakas. Just 2/10 separating them.
Still no change. The pressure's mounting on Boontakas to hold him off.
Weller has crashed. Big impact with the barriers.
Looks like he carried too much speed into that corner. Hope he's alright. Norton chasing down Snape. Just a 10th between them. Can he close the gap enough to make a move?
Snape has managed to eke out a little bit more of a lead. 2/10 now. We are approaching the final minutes of the race now.
And the tension is palpable. Every driver is pushing their car to the absolute limit.
The conditions are ideal, a bit of wind, but otherwise clear skies.
And that means they can go absolutely flat out, making overtaking moves even more spectacular.
And we are still seeing plenty of battles throughout the field.
Absolutely. This is what motorsport is all about. Wheel-to-wheel racing, taking risks, and pushing yourself to the absolute limit.
Constable Barry is hunting down Norton. Can he close that gap and take back 9th?
Norton has extended his lead. What does Constable Barry have to do?
We are nearing the end and anything can happen in these final few minutes.
Absolutely. A late safety car or a sudden change in weather could dramatically alter the outcome.
The drivers are really pushing themselves in their cars. You can see the effort and concentration on their faces.
It's a real test of endurance as well as skill.
Lime Rock is so short, so the final laps are going to go quickly. The drivers have to keep their heads.
It really is, and it keeps all the drivers and crew chiefs engaged in it right up until the last corner of the last lap.
Stokes is right on the tail of Boontakas. Can he make a move for second?
Huge crash for Hallam. He's gone straight into the barriers.
Stokes remains on the back of Boontakas. Will he get the chance to try and go through?
Boontakas is defending superbly. He is not making any mistakes. Stokes will need to force him into one if he wants to get through.
Boontakas has managed to increase the lead now. Can Stokes respond?
Stokes needs to take a breath and refocus. That gap is easily closed. He just needs to drive clean laps and not overdrive the car.
Tim Weller is right on the back of Stokes. Can he get through or will Stokes pull away? The pressure is on.
Oh no, Stokes is into the barriers. What a disaster.
He was pushing so hard, it looks like he has overdone it here. Snape is closing in on Norton. Just a tenth of a second separates them.
Norton is ever so slowly pulling away here. That is not going to be enough to keep Snape behind him though.
Norton is chasing Bodkin, right behind him, but can he find a way past?
The racing line in that corner is tricky. He would have to compromise it quite significantly to get past. It's all about nerve here.
Bodkin is now starting to pull away. What can Norton do here, with not long left?
He needs to forget the racing line, get right on the tail of Bodkin and see where he is vulnerable, then attack with everything he has.
Oh no, Lindo is into the wall.
A late mistake costs him dearly. Looks like he was trying to push too hard to gain a place. Snape is right on the bumper of Norton. He'll need to time it perfectly to make a successful overtake.
Norton seems to be holding Snape off here. Can he hold his nerve through the final few corners?
Snape needs to keep the pressure on. He needs to be aggressive to force Norton into a mistake if he wants to get through before the end of the lap.
Hallam is closing on Sabo. It's going to be an interesting battle to the line.
Hallam is getting ever closer, but is there enough time left to get past Sabo?
Bodkin and Constable Barry have collided.
Such a shame to see those drivers come together, especially so close to the end of the race.
Sabo under pressure from Bodkin. He will need to keep his head to stay ahead. Sabo has somehow gained on Bodkin.
It is amazing how quickly the standings change in the final few minutes of this race. Weller closing on Boontakas. A chance for second position here as they enter the Sam Posey straight.
Boontakas has responded and put a bit of distance between them.
Sabo is chasing Constable Barry for 9th as we approach the final stages.
They're neck and neck as they navigate the S's.
Constable Barry needs to defend hard, but Sabo is looking determined to take that place.
Oh no, David Constable Barry hits the barriers.
Sabo is still right behind Constable Barry. He is giving him no room to breathe.
Sabo has done it. He's got past Constable Barry. Constable Barry is trying to regain the position now. It will be interesting to see what happens.
He needs to keep his composure. If he gets flustered, he will make mistakes and lose even more ground. Constable Barry is trying to close that gap to Sabo, but can he get close enough to make a move before the final lap?
Constable Barry retakes 10th.
An excellent move right at the very end. Great skill.
We're coming up to the final lap now. It is going to be epic.
The drivers will be leaving absolutely nothing on the table. They'll be giving it everything they have got.
It is amazing how close all of these drivers are considering the whole race.
That is what makes this racing so thrilling. You never know who is going to win until the very last corner.
The conditions are still holding. The wind speed is down to 6 now.
That is going to help the drivers get every last little bit out of the cars, giving the fans an amazing finish. Stokes is trying to close the gap to Norton as we come to the final lap. Will we see a last-minute overtake?
Norton has clearly found something extra. He is now leaving Stokes behind. Here we go, it's the final lap.
I can barely contain my excitement. Wow, this is what it's all about.
The pressure is at its absolute maximum now. One mistake and the race is over.
They have to balance aggression and caution perfectly, take the risks but do not overdo it.
And who is going to take the win here? So many drivers are right up there still.
This is going to be one final lap to remember for a long time. It's the battle of the Constable Barrys for 10th as we head into the final lap.
The The constable Barry's, with Neil in 10th trying to extend the gap on David as they go for home. David Constable Barry closing in on Neil Constable Barry. The pressure is on again.
It will be fascinating to see who comes out on top. Such an intense battle right at the very end.
John Boontakis is pushing hard here, but can he take the lead?
With just a few corners to go, Boontakis needs to make a move and take the lead. This is it. Lindo has managed to extend his lead a bit here. He knows he is so close to taking the checkered flag.
Hallam closing on Constable Barry for 9th. The last corner is coming up. It will be a thrilling finish. Hallam has got past Constable Barry.
What an amazing move so close to the end. Incredible driving there.
Constable Barry not giving up here. Still right behind Hallam.
Hallam has got to defend perfectly and make no mistakes if he wants to take this win. Can he do it? Constable Barry chasing Hallam down the straight. Will there be enough room for him to make a move?
Oh no, what a mess at the end. Hallam and Constable Barry collide. Constable Barry is blocking Hallam brilliantly. He is going for home and nothing is going to stop him. Constable Barry can almost smell the checkered flag now. He has extended the lead significantly.
What an incredible drive. I do not know how he managed to pull that gap out of nowhere at the end. Excellent driving skills.
We are nearly there, just a few corners to go now.
The excitement is unreal. How will this finish?
It has been a truly eventful race with incidents all over the place.
There is never a dull moment when those Mini Coopers take to the track.
The fans are absolutely loving this finish.
They are going wild. That atmosphere there is just incredible.
Here comes Jimmy Lindo, clear leader and the winner of the race.
Incredible driving by Lindo, a well-deserved win for a very talented driver.
Jimmy Lindo takes the checkered flag.
And Boontakis crosses the line in second, an incredible drive from 6th on the grid.
And Weller takes the final podium position in 3rd. What a race.
That completes a great finish to a truly epic race.
The rest of the top 7 have finished in order, all finishing in very close succession.
And those drivers fill out the top 11. Everyone had a great race.
It has been an honor to be here today. Thanks for your commentary, Sky.
And so the remaining drivers complete the race, making it across the line to the cheers of the crowd.
What a race and what a day. Thank you to everyone for joining us here today. Goodbye.
And with that, the final driver crosses the line.
Thank you, Sky, for joining us and helping me out today. A pleasure to work with you.